Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. We're going to take a look at an article which is highlighting a major problem in the retail trade in Scotland. And this is a problem that is entirely at the fault of the SNP. They can blame no one else on this. There are no outside forces. It is exclusively their policies and the decisions they have made. They are causing a lot of hassle, a lot of stress on the retail trade. Now, this article is looking specifically at Wilkies, but of course there's a malaise across the whole of the retail industry in Scotland. And so even though this is concentrated on one particular store, you know it applies to all of them. The SNP want independence. They want to say that they can run Scotland efficiently. Here is proof that they cannot be trusted, certainly on economic matters. Here goes. Right, so we have this article. Scotland shopping, Wilkies is saved, but half of its stores are lost. And there he is, the man who's destroying the high street. And it is specifically him. It is his policies, his party. He cannot blame Westminster, he cannot blame anything else. This is entirely SNP problem. Wilkies, the clothing retailer that has served Scottish towns since 1898, was this week on the brink of collapse as its owner cited business rates that are 75% higher in Scotland than south of the border. The SNP have been putting business rates up as a matter of course because they think it's easy money, it's an invisible tax, and they can take this money in because they have misspent their tax income so badly. They've got £1 billion black hole, and they think by raising business taxes, we can get all this extra money in. Not once the businesses start going under, you can't. The tax is under review, and the first report from the New Deal for Business group, tasked by First Minister Humza Yousaf, is to reset the relationship between Holyrood and commerce, and it has just recommended further investigation. It is coming far too late for some. When you're paying 75% more in business rates north of the border, and for no reason other than you're having to subsidise the mistakes of the SNP. Shops will close, businesses will fail, people will be made unemployed, and the high streets will turn into ghost towns. And they'll receive far less in income because they're putting the rates up. Isn't it terrible? Laugh a curve again. Laugh a curve. Business rates, alongside the cost of living crisis and Brexit, have been repeatedly flagged this year as potentially fatal factors for struggling businesses. Comparable companies in England and Wales have benefited from 75% business rates relief, described as crucial during the post-COVID recovery period. The saga of the historic chain seems to highlight this. The family-owned ladies and menswear business is losing 5 of its 11 stores after a pre-pack administration with what could be salvaged remaining. Basically, they're bankrupt because of the fees they're paying. Times are hard anyway, so people aren't spending money if they can avoid it. So there's no random purchase of, that's a nice top, I'll buy that. It's, I've got to buy a pair of trousers for work or something. They're buying what they have to buy, not what they want to buy. So, of course, trade is going to be down anyway. On top of that, people want pay rises because everything keeps going up, food especially. And if you don't keep paying them, even when the minimum wage rises, that's a struggle and a pressure on businesses. They have to find that. So income is down, minimum wage has gone up, and on top of that, business rates at 75% more than what they should be were the same store with the same people south of the border. It's no wonder businesses are crashing, and these are decisions made by the SNP. This has nothing to do with Westminster. It is a devolved matter. They've made the choice not to do it, and this is what happens. Anyway, Karen Forrett, Managing Director of Wilkies, said, business rates in Scotland are nearly 75% higher than everywhere else in the UK, but we believe our high streets still have so much to offer and are vital to our communities and our economy. And they are. You need a vibrant, busy high street in every town. Otherwise, you lose the soul of the town. It becomes depressing. It becomes downtrodden. And it's the quickest way to urban decay. She also said, "We're proud to keep the Wilkies brand alive and to have saved as many jobs as possible." In May, the Herald revealed Wilkies' annual business rates of £10,000 for its outlet in North Berwick. So literally across the border, they're paying £10,000. If they come down a few miles into Berwick itself, it would be 2,600. Well, that's a part-time wage. You know, that's somebody coming in on a part-time basis. That's their wage for nothing. It's unbelievable difference, isn't it? And that's just one store. You think across the group, you're talking £100,000. Prior to the review, the Scottish Government said it provided the number one ask of the business community by freezing the business rate poundage. Freezing it, yes, they need it cut. The new deal for business group this week recommends that Scottish Government feature non-domestic rates among the wider consideration of its new tax advisory group. But they're not saying they're going to cut it. They're not saying they're going to give you the 75% discount that's enjoyed everywhere else in Britain. Why does the Scots Government not do this? Are they so very desperate for money they've got to tax everything until the pips squeak? Dennis Healy, for the older viewer, he said that. Now, you cannot run a business when you've got overhead so high that you're eating into profit to the point where you're not actually making a profit, you're actually making a loss, but simply because of the overhead. What do? As a business owner, as a responsible business owner, you shut the business down. You go bang and you close it there and then. And it's as simple as that. You don't run a business at a loss. They don't see this. The Scottish Government don't see this. They just think that shops are a never-ending well of wealth. Well, they're not. And we're seeing it now. With Wilkies almost going entirely, but fortunately some of them being saved. But they won't be the last. There'll be more and there'll be more and there'll be more. Now, the headline business rate is at a 24-year high, they say, and the government's own fiscal forecast have penciled in a chunky uplift for next spring, which, if implemented, will pose a challenge for sectors with significant property footprint and add £34 million to the Scottish retailers' rates bill. And with it will come the loss of jobs. The businesses will fail, the high streets will die, urban decay sets in, and Scotland starts moving towards a third world economy full of depression. I mean, it'll be the rise of the Gorbals all over again should things like this happen. I'm pretty sure it's almost deliberate. I can't think of a reason why it wouldn't be. You wouldn't do it deliberately. You know, you wouldn't do anything like this unless it was deliberate, because nobody is either that stupid or that ignorant of economics that they wouldn't know it. So they're making these decisions knowing the outcome. So therefore it must be a deliberate decision by the SNP to ruin the high street and destroy people's jobs and life chances and to tear apart communities. The only thing I can think of, it's absolutely deliberate. Anyway, I'm rounding off and coming up. Their constant cries of "we want independence" ring hollow when you see the actions. You cannot trust these people. We cannot trust these people with the NHS or with education or social care or anything like that. Can't trust them with anything. And now you can see, as a direct result of their policies, the high streets will die. They're talking about putting business rates up next year. They won't introduce the 75% reduction, allowance. They are going to kill the high street. They are going to kill communities. These people should on no account ever be allowed anywhere near power. You can see what's happening. You've just closed 6 Wilkies shops. Apart from the actual shops themselves going, and then just being an eyesore on the high street, it's all the jobs. All those people that come in, the Saturday jobs for the younger ones, the management jobs, the accountancy jobs, all gone. All gone. Simply because SNP policy says we need to tax everything we can. How's that working out? Because you're putting these business rates up, the businesses are failing and you're getting less. You're making it worse. You need to learn economics. But you won't, will you? Because you're all thick. Anyway, I shall stop there. Thank you very much for watching. If you like what you're seeing here on the channel, please do hit the subscribe button, ring the bell, leave a like, leave a comment. And until next time, stay safe, stay well. For God's sake, use your high street. Stop buying online, get into the shops and buy stuff. And goodbye.